Madmen. They did it. Kaiser, they did it.
Yeah, they really did do it.
I said last week, ain't no way.
Yeah.
Ain't no goddamn way.
A lot of people said ain't no goddamn way.
I would be sitting here with so much egg on my face if they weren't so fucking expensive. Super Saiyan 4. We got it. It's here again. But with Hulk hands now.
If you're one of the people who thought, what if Super Saiyan 4 but more monkey? You got it.
It is in fact more monkey.
It is inarguably more monkey.
I don't hate the design. Like, the hands look fucking weird. They're goofy. The hands are goofy. The fact that the forearm just goes straight into fist, little funny to me.
The full-on Popeye is a interesting decision.
Yeah, but overall, I like that. I like that they, they kept the Gogeta hair. Like, they just kept it red.
Yeah.
Instead of making it black. I don't hate the design.
This is God. But 4.
Kinda, yeah. Let's start from the beginning. Super Saiyan 3 versus Goma. Went about as we expected.
Yeah.
Gets a few good pops in, then gets slapped to the ground, and everybody else has to jump him. I did like the little beat where Do powered up, and I'm not taking it as, like, this is a new form for him. This is just him powering up and copying Goku. Yeah. I like that. Like, we're just like, oh, he got spiky. I'm going to get spiky, too.
No, I want to know, the first half of this episode is pretty entertaining. The gag with Do is, in fact, flawless. Absolutely perfect shit. I kind of wish we had more of that in this whole fight. Because, yeah, Ku realizing that Do does, in fact, get stronger when he eats. That's so good. And him mimicking Goku. Perfect.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Tamagami kind of there, I guess, just to add something.
I mean, they're all kind of just there right now.
Yeah, it really is. It really is just kind of that. And there's a lot of fun impact frames, a lot of fun, like, silky smooth. And there was a lot of fun animation in this episode, actually.
A
lot of beats that I'm just like, ooh, I like that.
The combo with Do and Goku is fucking great. I was hoping we'd get more of that. Mm-hmm. Like, I was like, oh, them doing combo attacks. This is amazing. Please give me more.
Yeah, we're getting like a sampler platter of lots of fun things, but we're just not getting enough of anything to be sated, I feel like. But the meat of the episode, the true meat of the episode, is when Goku gets slapped to the ground. It looks like all hope is lost, and then Neva walks up and it's like, hey, have a power-up, buddy. You want a power-up? I got them. I got them to spare. And then Vegeta's just sitting there in the background. I was like, yo, come on, Magic Man. Hook a fella up. Why not Vegeta? When's Vegeta's turn?
Sorry, I've only got one of these ass pulls. I can't do 2 in one day. I'm an old man. My ass is very tired.
I can't pull so much out of it these days. There was a day when it was elastic and pliable, but these days, well, I go to the bathroom a lot, but it's not because of that. It's funny because I like the instant I saw that, I'm like, okay, so this is all just nostalgia bait. And then we had a bunch of animation beats that reminded me of old 90s anime. Like, do you remember that part where they were fighting in the dark and it was like blue and like one of them was blue, the other one was red? I'm like, this feels like a 90s shonen anime, like that entire sequence there.
There's definitely a lot of callbacks. In fact, one very specifically to the GT opening. Mm-hmm. With a shot of Goku doing his Kamehameha. Mm-hmm. Which for me, by the way, making visual callbacks to other things, like just like, especially if like they were something like in the opening, I'm actually really okay with that. Yeah. Because it's been so long since we had GT. Calling back to something that was in the opening is actually a really cool little Easter egg for people. And visually it works really well too. And it's Super Saiyan 4, so yeah, it makes sense.
We got it. This is just a whole ass like redo of GT now.
So I'll talk a little bit more about that aspect after we're done, because a certain interview came out and it's a lot. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Because I'm just watching this and thinking, okay, fine. We even got like Black Star Purunga, basically.
Yeah, we also.
I love that design. He looks sick.
Yeah, design-wise, Daima has yet to disappoint. As much as I would have I'm not gonna say that I didn't want Super Saiyan 4 at all, because at the end of the day, I don't necessarily mind getting Super Saiyan 4 here, and I don't mind its design. If you'd asked me, what would Super Saiyan 4 look like if Toriyama made it, it would have probably skewed closer to this.
Did he not? I thought that was like the...
Well, no, but
like,
actually, no.
Because I thought that was like one of the big talking points of GT. It was like he did some character design, including the design for 4. But or is that just like one of those proliferated rumors?
Because here's the thing. Who designed Super... Because I am almost certain that was... Yep, Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru, who, interestingly, is one of the, like, main, like, animation people on Daima.
Interesting.
Like, Nakatsuru has been heavily involved in Daima's development. So I guess getting Super Saiyan 4 also just sort of makes sense in a way. But this definitely feels like, what if Toriyama had designed that? Because if you look at Super Saiyan 4, there are a lot of elements that Toriyama never used in the stuff that he did. But with this version, it definitely feels like, especially with his later work and his like Sandland and post Sandland work, this definitely feels more Toriyama than Nakatsuru's version. So, yeah, to me, it's sort of, there is something really cool about seeing his take. And I am almost 100% sure next week we're going to see an adult version of it.
Maybe. Yeah, because this was the most abrupt ending to an episode we've gotten so far.
Really? You thought that was abrupt? I was like...
I thought that was insanely abrupt. It's like, okay, he makes wish and straight cut to credits. It was the fact that we didn't have any roll down. It was boom, just hard wall.
I felt like that was very intentional, though.
It might have been intentional, but it did feel incredibly abrupt.
Huh. I guess I was just waiting for the end because I knew it was going to end around this time. I was like, this has to be where the episode
We've been
ends.
sitting here for 20-something minutes by now.
Yeah. So I guess I was just like, where's the credit? Okay, there are the credits. So I guess I didn't find it abrupt because I was just like, we can't show the wish. Like, there has to be the cliffhanger.
Yeah, because finally, Arinsu, I think I did it right this time, is doing the thing that I thought she was going to do early on, which is like, take the balls, we're going. She's like, okay, let's do it now. We'll do it now.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah.
I'm
apparently only, what's his fuck can make the wish?
Oh, Glorio.
There we go.
Because Glorio was taught Namekian to make the wish, which, Arinsu.
Take a night class, girl. Come on.
Yeah, woman, you have too much. Ku is obviously a good learner. You needed to teach that boy. Teach your boy.
Just go to night school. Take a night class. Take the exam.
This is why you don't fucking homeschool your kids, obviously. Because Ku has not learned Namekian, and honestly, would have come in pretty handy right now. Because I'll tell you what.
How are you gonna teach the boy Namekian if you don't know it yourself? Come on, I know the Duolingo owl is dead, but Babbel's still out there.
Yeah, exactly. And because Glorio just wished for them to be adults. That's the wish. Next week, they're gonna be adults again.
I feel like that's. I mean, I know that's inevitably where we're going to end up. Like, they got to get back to status quo. But that feels like such a... I don't know. I mean, 2 episodes remaining? Sure.
Yeah, because here's the thing. What other wish could he have possibly made? I guess he could have restored all of their energy, but like...
That's boring, too.
Yeah. Returning them to adults means that we're going to get adult Super Saiyan 4. We'll get adult Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta, probably. Maybe we'll finally fucking get Fusion.
I'm sitting here still waiting for
Piccolo to do something. It's never happening.
I was so sad because I had this idea in my head. It's like, because I just recently rewatched Superhero. I'm like, wait a minute, a pinpoint spot that's a weakness, and you have somebody with a pinpoint attack.
Ooh, okay.
Maybe he could fire that special beam cannon directly at the eye.
Okay, I like where you're cooking with that, actually.
But I at this point, I'm not sure that that's ever going to hit the pan. You know what I mean?
Huh. Okay, I'm pulling for that, and I'm hoping that there's a moment where they're like,
the eyeball's the weakness. We got to take it out.
Yeah, we got to take out the eye, but he keeps throwing up a barrier. We need somebody who can do that. Although, unfortunately, at this point, that would just be ripping off the end of Superhero. So I'm not sure how I feel about that. As opposed to
ripping off everything else in Dragon Ball thus far. I don't know. Like, it was a huge fan favorite moment in that movie.
Yeah. Although there's one other similarity that this episode very specifically does share with Superhero. Well, actually two very specifically. One, in that Goma grow big. He grow bigger.
He big boy. He big man.
Yeah. Which, as somebody who's never been a fan of giant enemies in Dragon Ball, okay, I guess. Like,
are you getting bad flashbacks of Super Saiyan 4 fighting a giant again?
A little bit, but also just when it comes to fighting a big bad guy, the kind of choreography you have there can be really fun and cool, but it's more environmental. And the environments that we've been given here have unfortunately, like, it's sort of neat in that the arena looks cool when you're looking at it from afar, but once you get in close, it's just rocks. The kind of like fighting that we've been able to see here has been really well animated, but it's also been sort of plain in a lot of places.
Yeah, because they kind of rubbleized the area that they were in.
Yeah, it's basically just become a repeat of the Tournament of Power.
Yeah.
So the environment here has been really kind of plain. We're not getting a lot of great choreography that involves the environment. We got one or two things here that were sort of neat. Something that I think even kind of, I'm not going to say a callback to the Heroes moment where Goku grabs the side of that building, because he grabs the rock and does something very similar here, which it's a cool move. I like that. I wish we could have gotten more of that.
I like dynamic movement. And honestly, this was one of the coolest looking Kamehamehas we've gotten.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love that shot where he's charging it up and it's all gold and yellow, and then he gets like punched, and we have that actual Street Fighter.
I will
then
say
he flips, and
I'll say this. I wish he hadn't started over. I wish he just got into the
kept going.
Yeah, would have been so much sicker, so much colder.
It was still fucking cool.
Oh, yeah, no.
Probably one of the best looking blasts in the show.
Yeah, and in terms of action, I'd say one of my favorite moments in this, and it's so quick, but it's so good, is when Goku is running along those spiked, because Goma does that thing where he, like, takes up a bunch of the rocks, those spiky rocks, and then turns them into projectiles. And Goku's just running along them, sliding, monkey running.
Yeah.
So, for a moment there, we actually got a little bit of characterization in Super Saiyan 4. And that it's so frustrating to me, because the other thing that this shares with Dragon Ball Superhero is an unearned transformation. And
it was super unearned. It was never alluded to. You haven't been building towards it. It's just, hey, you want another power up, kid? There you go.
I thought for a moment, like when Neva came in there and gave him the power, like I was like, okay, this is gonna lead to a power up, right? And then we get him in this sort of abstract void, and I was like, ooh, are we about to do some like internal like soul stuff? Are we about to like reflect on Goku's history? No. Like we get like, and in terms of transformation visuals, like it going through his veins like that was a really neat visual touch, but it's also just a bunch of CG. Okay, like
I don't care how it was achieved. I mostly care the fact that, like you said, it was ultimately unearned.
Yeah, I mean, visually it's kind of neat, but it's also not that complicated or compelling. And in terms of its narrative meaning, it's nothing. It's nothing. Like, and the worst part is with Neva powering up the Tamagami, that made total sense. Nobody questioned how
he made them.
Yeah, he's connected to the Tamagami. He's able to power them up. Nobody questioned that. Nobody had anything to say about that. Why is he coming in here and just handing out Super Saiyan 4 to people?
Do you think there might be something to say that since the Ozaru have pointy ears but the Saiyans don't?
Somebody
Do you think there's maybe like a shade of like the Ozaru that came from the demon world, or like something like that, like some weird form of lycanthropy?
If you tell me, if the thing that we learned from this series is that the Saiyans are also of the demon realm, and that the Ozaru are their full complete form, I will actually be not mad at all.
That could like, if that is the case, it could make sense why the power-up he offers Goku is more monkey in shape as opposed to just, different hair color or some shit.
Yeah, because at that point, that only makes Saiyans more interesting to me. Because, like, it's not that I ever minded the whole, let's make them aliens.
Like they got some weird demon world disease that turns them into giant monkeys.
I just like the idea that because I liked Dragon Ball when it was more mystical and less sci-fi. Not that the sci-fi stuff didn't give us some cool things. Like, I think you could have had Cell easily.
I think it's fascinating. Like, this is one of the only worlds out there that has magic, mysticism, martial arts, sci-fi, all that shit mixed into one, and it actually works for what it is.
I'm just saying, if you tie a mystic, like, demon element to the Saiyans, that does actually just generally make them more interesting to me than, oh, they were just an alien species. Like, I could actually dig that. Yeah, also, frankly, it would kind of help explain why they can just, like, why they have so many transformations and stuff. Oh yeah, there's a mystical element to them. Okay.
And how they have access to, like, God Key. And then you kind of start thinking from Frieza's point of view, it's like, oh, these things are invaders now. Frieza's are like the Frieza race is actually the natural born race of this universe. And ooh, what's happening here?
Okay, let's not think too hard about that one.
No, I'm going deep. Fanfic territory now.
Oh no. Frieza's over here asking the Saiyan question. No. But no, I don't particularly like how it happened, and it did just generally. I did enjoy a lot of the animation. I enjoyed some of the shots. I enjoyed some of what they were trying to do. But oh boy,
yeah, the animation in this episode beautiful, but transformation completely out of nowhere.
Yeah,
out of nowhere, like. I was so sure of myself that Super Saiyan 4 wasn't happening that when it started happening, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
because normally you do tend to foreshadow these kinds of things or build up to things like this. Like Ultra Instinct. I think that was done perfectly in Super because they seeded ideas of it throughout. And then finally when Goku got even like the semi like Ultra Instinct form, it's like, fuck yeah. That's like a holy shit hype moment. This is like a, okay, cool. We got Super Saiyan 4 again.
Yeah, they needed to seed this. They needed to seed this really. I was so afraid because when I saw Awakening in the title, it was very obvious to me that something was going to happen where somebody was going to get a power up. I wasn't sure what it was going to be, but this is so much worse than I think any other thing that I could have thought up. Because it has no narrative setup. It's totally just like handed out, like everything wrong with new transformations in Dragon Ball. Everything.
It was never Ex Machina.
Yeah. And there are going to be a lot of people. By the way, I want to address something because I know that there are people in the audience who are like, "What do you think? What do you think so hard about it? Why do you care so much?" Because Super Saiyan 2 was fucking awesome because of how it was built up to. Super Saiyan 1 was awesome because of how it was built up to. Super Saiyan 4 was even pretty cool. Even if it was just like the mixture of Pan reaching out to him. And all the things that kind of went into it with, oh, here's the Earth out there. And the Earth is what turns him into Super Saiyan 4. And the visuals that we get when it happens and what it means narratively. There is something there with Super Saiyan 4 in GT. GT did this better. Mm-hmm. I hate GT. I don't even dislike it. I kind of hate it. Mostly because I just got sat down to watch it week to week to the point where I would have dropped that. I'm watching this because at least I'm still entertained, but damn it, it did Super Saiyan 4 better than this.
Yeah. Again, it's all about, kind of leading your audience to believe that something's going to come instead of just like, here you go. Eat your slop.
Yeah.
You can have your Super Saiyan 4 now. This is what this version looks like. You think it looks cool? Buy the figures.
I get that this is supposed to be a celebration of Dragon Ball, and to that extent, they've kind of played it a little fast and loose to just give us moments, to give us these ideas and
but
fun
narrative
concepts.
Matters.
Yeah, and narrative does matter. So, hey, Nick, if you were going to make a Dragon Ball series, would you have the story planned out ahead of time before you started animating the fucking thing?
Probably.
They didn't.
Oh, really?
They started animating it before they finished the story.
Really?
Yeah. That interview that came out basically talked about how they wanted to redo GT again, which that's fine. Honestly, if I'm all about taking a concept that you did poorly and then years later doing it again, and like we need more remakes that take good ideas done poorly and making them good. Like, fucking please. But they did not have the goddamn story done before they started animating. And
so they didn't know where they wanted it to end. Like, they didn't, like, I'm guessing they had a checklist of things they wanted to do.
Yeah, because when they originally were working on it, Toriyama was not involved. Toriyama heard about it. He got involved. And I think in the process of him getting involved, they were like, okay, well, he's helping us rewrite the story. He's adding these things. He's changing these things. But we have a time frame that we need to get this done, because they wanted a production schedule that was way, way better than what we got with Super. Its production. I believe they had started animating the series 5 months before it premiered.
I mean, there's a reason I didn't watch a good chunk of that show.
Yeah. For this one, this has been like in the works for like at least a year, I think, maybe 2 years. Like, just
animation is an arduous process.
Yeah,
like, let's not bury that lead. But.
No, but what I'm saying is we've had time for them to really work on the show, and that's great. I love the fact that they have spent so much time and put so much effort into making this show the anti-Super visually. We have gotten only a scant few parts where it has looked below par, and it never hit anywhere close to the lows of Super did. But the thing is, they didn't. I kept saying this feels like first draft material. It's not even first draft.
And
they
now
were
you feel
drafting.
vindicated?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. They didn't have a draft. They were drafting while they were fucking animating it. What is wrong? This is Sega levels of incompetence. I'm sorry. Like, this is so asinine, because after all this time, I was really hoping for a full, complete package, narratively, visually.
Especially since it's a 1-season show.
And it's also Toriyama's fucking last. So the fact that they couldn't just stop and figure out the full narrative before going, because Toriyama, we know that week to week, he had his own ass pulls. He had all of his own shit going on. If you look at Dragon Ball,
people randomly getting their tails back, things like that.
Yeah, between the super holy water, the fucking tail growing back, all these contrivances, right? A lot of shit there. Some plot holes, some problems. But that was a different format. A different format where Toriyama was, kind of weaving through it week to week with different pacing and a longer format. So we can look at that and say, yeah, there are problems, but ultimately that story is far more fulfilling because he had more time to build things up and paid them off. Here, they just fucked around for like several episodes, had a couple of bangers here and there, but all the stuff they set up fell apart. Degasu sucked. Piccolo has done nothing. God knows what they're doing with the fucking fusion bugs. Or if they will at this point. We have 2 episodes left, which means probably the next episode will be the climactic episode and then some falling action. What I suspect is going to happen is that the next episode we get them as adults. But the evil eye, I think, is going to corrupt Goma to the point where Goma is going to lose his mind. And at that point, I think he's just going to become this creature so powerful and so unstoppable that
they just have to kill it.
That they have to fuse. I fully suspect that we're going to get fusion either at the end of the next episode or the beginning of the last. There will be a short fight, big finish. The last half of the last episode is going to be the quickest falling action they possibly could do. We'll probably get what I fully suspect that we'll get like a montage of scenes of everyone being liberated in the demon world.
I'm guessing what we're going to get is, instead of an end credit sequence, it's going to be the end credits running over the falling action.
Yeah, honestly, at this point, that's probably what's going to happen, because that is how they've treated the narrative. We're going to handle all the things that we set up prior with a fucking montage over the credits, because why wouldn't you? I'm sorry, I know this is probably the most bitter I've sounded, But after seeing that interview and seeing
after that interview, I see something unlocked in you.
Yeah, after the interview, after watching this, like, because I don't
we should probably link to that interview in the
you know what, I will do that. I don't like taking out the word of God or behind the scenes stuff and applying it to what I'm watching. But unfortunately,
rag sheet, brother.
Yeah, unfortunately, cat's out of the bag. Pandora's box is open, and even Hope decided to fuck off. So I don't know what to do, because knowing that not only validates every feeling that I've had about this show, but it generally makes me angry, because it's just such an incompetent, irresponsible way to handle a narrative like this, because storytelling is so fucking difficult, and they just kind of played it by ear, and that really hurts, because I want better for Dragon Ball. A lot of people always, like, I've gotten people who have been like, it's not that big of a deal, bro, and I'm like, no, it is that big of a fucking deal, okay? I grew up with Dragon Ball. I love Dragon Ball. It's one of my favorite series of all time. So when they have an opportunity to finally approach it with the kind of pragmatism that it's never really gotten, and then they just,
I like Dragon Ball, but I do not love it like you do.
Yeah.
So I'm able to kind of like get past and be like, okay, we got this. I see them approaching this with the same sort of mentality that a dungeon master would, where week to week it's like, okay, I have a basic idea where this is going. Let's see where the fuck it goes, though. We're gonna sit down and just do this shit live. I've been in that situation a lot.
Yeah,
and
but
you have to make up a lot of things on the fly, and it don't always work.
Yeah. You know what an interesting thing about that is? I've been watching Legends of Vox Machina. Yeah, they knew how to take all that stuff and then do a second draft. They knew how to, hey,
they took all the live stuff and then cut out the bullshit and then turned it into like a refined story.
Yeah. It's not the best story I've ever watched, but I'll tell you what, it's a competent one that has setups and payoffs. Mm-hmm. And it's just frustrating. It's frustrating because of all the things I've already said. I'm gonna run around in a circle here. I want better for Dragon Ball, and I just
want better media.
I mean, I want better media in general. Yeah, I mean that's an uncontroversial statement, I think. But it's
You're the kind of person that this show was supposed to be made for, the Dragon Ball fan, the one who loves Dragon Ball.
I feel like,
right?
I feel like that's true. I also don't know.
if it's a celebration of Dragon Ball, then you want the fans to really be in on it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
so
ostensibly,
while your results may vary, you might be like me, where I'm just sitting back and like, okay, that was some bullshit, but it was fun bullshit. Or if you have like that deep attachment to like, you really want the lore, you really want everything to just kind of like stick and do justice to this thing that you love, then yeah, you're going to feel a bit harder on it.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's just how it is.
I feel like at the end of the day,
I mean, this is coming from the guys that ruined Dragon Ball.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's funny to me. I've actually had people say that I'm not a fan of Dragon Ball, and that's insane.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Nah, you have to be a fan to ruin something. Come on.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what fans do. Fans ruin the things they love. Precisely. It's the law.
Yeah, exactly. No,
I peeked the fuck out of that.
You could not have made a truer statement, actually.
Yeah.
But it's, yeah. And to everybody who's typing in the comments and I'm being too negative, I don't care. I do not care. I don't care if you think I'm being too negative, okay?
Yeah. Like, you can be like me and sit back and watch it, enjoy the pretty flashy lights, and just kind of guffaw at the ass pull. And just be like, you know what? Whatever. It's fun. I had fun this episode. I'll say that. I didn't hate this episode. I had fun with it. I agree with every single one of your points, but I still liked it.
And hey, also, if maybe people need to hear this, cool. Enjoy it. If you enjoyed it, you're not my problem.
Yeah, no, we had that whole spiel.
Yeah, but I feel like nobody listens to that. I feel like nobody fucking listens to when I say, hey, if you enjoyed it, that's cool. I didn't, and I'm going to voice my opinion. Because people will be like, oh, you're being so negative. It's like, oh, I don't want to hear you just hate for 30 minutes. I'm going to be honest about my opinion, and the only reason that you're bothered by it is because you feel attacked, okay? That's the only reason you give a shit.
You're allowed to like something and still understand that it has massive flaws.
Yeah. And like, I didn't come away from this, like, hating the show. I didn't even come away from it hating the episode. But there is a part of me that has been... Unfortunately, there's a part of the series that now has been effectively ruined because of it. Because of everything that has come up to this point and knowing certain facts. Yeah, no, I do think that it is fundamentally broken now. That doesn't mean that there is nothing of value in it. It doesn't mean I haven't enjoyed what I have. It doesn't even retroactively ruin all the other stuff at this point. I mean, more than all the poor payoffs already did.
Yeah, I'm still very interested to see where all of this ends. Like, how they end it. Where do they land, and what knee do they break on the landing? I just need to know.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there's the wish, and I am basically certain that it is him turning them back into adults, and so we're gonna get. Again, I've already laid out how I think it's gonna work out. We're going to get a big fight with all of them. They're going to need to fuse, and that'll be the big finish. I liked your idea, though. I kind of do hope that we see, like, a Makan Kosa Po that is just giant and super powerful and takes out Goma, because, frankly, Piccolo
like they
deserves
set it up. He's got a bullseye right on his head.
He really does.
A pinpoint thing for a pinpoint attack.
Yeah, no, we are in the final boss battle, and it's blinking red.
Mm-hmm. He's sitting there like a goddamn Final Fantasy boss. Every time that, like, something happens, the eye shimmers and does stuff. It's like, okay, so clearly, if you destroy the eye, you win.
Yeah. So
of course, now that he's a giant, I guess any beam can do it. So whatever. But
well, yeah, but like, what the beams could hit it, but which one can drill it? Which one? What is the drill that can pierce the Goma eye?
The evil drill beam.
Yeah.
The evil drill cannon.
Yeah, it's in the fucking name.
It drills evil.
Yeah, it drills evil hard. Audience
drills
would
evil
love it.
Evilly.
Audience is over here like, can I get one of those?
Now I got a different image in my head.
Yeah,
anyway.
yep, exactly.
Yep. I still hope her plot pays off somehow.
I mean, it's about to get ruined. I'm pretty sure after this, like, she'll probably sick coup on Glorio, and
if she's not sitting on the throne at the end after Goma's done anyway, I don't know what's up.
Hybis is gonna be the new king.
Aw, man, hell yeah!
I'm not kidding.
King Hybis.
I'm not kidding. I think Hybis. I want Hybis so badly to be the new king, because if Hybis,
that is very Toriyama, just like thrusting like the least convincing person into that position.
I mean, actually, it's probably going to be Glorio. I almost am certain that Glorio is going to take it over by the end. I don't know how, but like at this point, it's sort of this is Glorio's story in a way,
kinda,
because he's sort of been he's that movie character, right? That comes in and he's throughout this movie, and then at the end,
Tapion.
Exactly. I think he's probably going to be Demon King at the very end. That makes sense to me. Either that or Pansy might be. But I do think the funniest one is Hybis gets the job but then gives it to Glorio. Would be very funny to me. Or Glorio gets the job and gets it off to Hybis. It's like, I don't want this fucking job. What do you? No.
That's why you need it.
Yeah, like
okay.
Yeah, like
even when he was asking for the Dragon Balls, it's like, oh, fucking finally. I don't want to hold these anymore.
Oh yeah, no, that whole scene is really funny because the way that it's playing out at first, but the animation on it is like kind of stupendous. Weirdly, he's walking.
Yeah, he looks so sinister. It's like, I need the Dragon Balls.
Okay, here. Thanks. I got tired of holding these.
Thanks.
Yeah,
They're heavy.
I loved that. Like, why was it so sinister? I mean, it's just gonna be like, okay,
sure, bro, whatever. I don't even know why I'm here anymore, man.
Just that
it better be getting overtime.
Just that shot of Hybis. Like
Hybis is always a mood. I'm so happy he's there.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Once again, weirdly, post Dragon Ball sometimes can have really pointless, useless characters. But when this one may have the highest characters introduced to characters I like ratio out of anything new from Dragon Ball. Damn God.
Yeah.
Like between Pansy, I like Glorio, I like Neva, I like Arinsu, I like Kuindu, I fucking love Hybis. So, like, you've got this whole list of characters who have made this show better than it had any right to be at this point. And I do think that's largely Toriyama. I do think Toriyama
it does come down a lot to that early adventure aspect. Like, the episode, like, the show had a great, like, nearly flawless to me 6-7 episode run.
Man, it really did just climax with that Tamagami fight, didn't it? The one with Goku. Like, that
I was thinking about it when Glorio was having his flashbacks to his fight with Goku. I'm like, oh man, that was sick. I haven't felt that in a minute.
Yeah, I last felt that during that first Tamagami fight where we had all this built up and then the actual fight was a total banger. We had a Naoto Shishida cut with the Kamehameha and the rising mountains. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then the
Not that there haven't been like fun visual things throughout here. It's just...
But that was narratively...
They haven't felt like they've had as much weight for some reason.
Because that was narratively built up too. Because it had a narrative. It was like, hey, we're going to talk about the Tamagami. We're going to go on about the Tamagami. We're going to...
still like, a mystery to some of it.
Yeah. And then this fight happens, and it's one of the coolest fights in the show. The choreography there is amazing. Goku being being dragged across, through the air via the hammer. Him dodging and moving underneath. Like, all that stuff looks so good and was built up to and even its ending was really narratively satisfying because he kind of handily beats the Tamagami, but then he has another extra thing at the end where, hey, it's not just punching hard, you've got another thing to do too. So in terms of Dragon Ball, it was perfect, or the closest thing this show has had to it. It hit every single note. It wasn't just beat him up. It was narratively satisfying, and we just haven't had that since. Like the second Tamagami fight, right? The second Tamagami fight was actually mixed with the third Tamagami fight, where we had Vegeta versus the water one, and Do versus the
sword guy, paladin dude, who's still there.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, the choreography there, like there was still some really cool stuff there, but there's not much to it. Because that, like, in here...
It gave you Vegeta's awesome Super Saiyan 3 moment, which was still fun.
Yeah, but the biggest problem there was that we barely spent any time in that world. Like, we got one full episode to really explore that world, and it was after the Tamagami fight, which was a mistake. Everyone talks about, like, that hamster episode, the giant episode. And
still one of my favorite episodes.
One of mine, too. But a lot of people don't like it. And I think that's because it came directly after the Tamagami fight, and everyone was like, okay, they've got all the Dragon Balls, so we kind of need to move on from here. That episode needed to be the first thing that they dealt with in that world. They needed to get there, and it needed to be giants. That's what they needed.
Yeah, they crashed there. They need to get off there to get to the Dragon Ball kind of thing.
Would have been way better. Would have been like, oh, okay, so here's what sets this apart. Immediately, you understand, besides water, how this separates it from the other demon world. But that's not what we got. Also, one other thing that they talk about, never addressed. Do you know how hot it is in the demon world they're currently in?
Oh, is it supposed to be like unbearably hot?
It's 60 degrees Celsius.
Ugh.
Yeah. Nobody's mentioned that. I don't even know why they brought it up. They're like, oh, this demon world is 60 degrees Celsius. Why did you bring that up? I mean, it's just a minor thing, but like but
it would be something that would be affecting Bulma for sure.
Oh yeah, it'd be killing her. It's weird to me. It's like, why did you bring that up? I don't know. It's not a huge deal. Like I'm not over here like, oh well, that's completely ruined my enjoyment. But it is.
It's a weird thing to bring up and not have it be a factor.
Yeah, just don't bring it. Don't mention it. Don't bring it up. Don't make the news. Don't make those other get news. Don't do a bunch of things. Just this could be.
It is weird how many things that like have been brought up and then like kind of dropped. Like, I thought the thick air thing was going to be a thing throughout. It's like, okay, so that's the reason that they're not going to be as strong in general. But then they, like, first of all, it stopped being really a thing in that world itself. And then they just dropped it entirely as soon as they left the third demon world.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm interested to see where this goes. I hope the wish is something more creative than they're all just back to normal. But I would not be shocked.
What would you say the wish might be then? Because I'm going off of the only narrative way forward at this point.
Like, I don't think you're wrong. But I want the show to surprise me. That's all I want.
I mean, it sure as shit surprised me this episode.
Yeah. But I mean, like, in a good way, hopefully. Man, I don't even know what, like, alternate wishes you could go with here. But
yeah, I think it's like undo, like, or Shenlong's wish.
Undo Earth's wish.
Yeah. Or make them their original ages something. That's all that when I think about how we have to move forward, because this fight needs to continue, and obviously them as kids right now is not cutting it. Also, I really don't like the fact that they're so, like, okay, first of all, we need to talk about power scaling real quick. Stop saying power scaling and power scaler like a fucking slur, or like that's like some it's a fucking, what do you call it?
I mean, it's the fact of the universe.
Yes.
They've established certain things can happen at a certain level.
Yeah, stop with the fallacy, okay? I care about how strong these characters are, maybe not within like the full context of Dragon Ball, but within this show, I need to know what we're dealing with, because Dragon Ball's narrative has, whether you like it or fucking not, been decided on, hey, who is stronger than who, and how are they responding to that?
Yeah.
It isn't always bigger number better, but it is, okay, we know for a fact that this person is stronger than that person because of reasons, either through things we've seen or things we've been told. If we don't know that, we are losing some of what makes these work. I never said we needed fucking power levels, by the way. I don't think we need numbers. I'm not out here asking how many billions is Goku at right now. What I am asking is
how strong is he relative to this character?
Yeah, how strong is he as relative to when he was an adult? How strong is he relative to, like, the Tamagami? How strong are the Tamagami? Because we were told that the Tamagami were strong as Boo.
Yeah, the closest we have is that we know that the Tamagami are stronger than Dabura.
Yeah, and we know that they are about. I believe they said, hey, these should be as strong as Boo. I'll have to double check, but I've seen people say, yeah, they're Boo strength. If they are Boo strength, then Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta is.
It should be like matching pace with them. He shouldn't be way ahead of them.
But also, but in that regard, that kind of means, like, okay, but if he gets turned into an adult again, his power level is not going to change, right? It's not like it's impossible that he's suddenly that much stronger, right? Like, Goku wasn't like just training a bunch immediately after they beat Boo, and now suddenly he's like several times stronger as a Super Saiyan 3, right? Like, so what is the power scale? What is the power scaling here? What are we dealing with in terms of strength? Because yeah, that is kind of, if they just not mentioned how strong the Tamagami were, they would have been more nebulous, but I wouldn't have had like that confusion going on in my head. It matters. It matters because things you say in your fucking narrative matter. So stop throwing out, oh, power scaling, this power levels this. No, fucking narrative. Tell me, like, don't just say shit. Tell me the things I need to know that help inform me about what the stakes, how I should feel about the drama that's unfolding.
Can any of these people blow up a planet? I don't know.
Sorry, I know I'm getting kind of heated, but just like I I do read the comments because I like hearing people's feedback.
That's your first mistake.
I know.
I read them too.
Yeah. I like seeing people be like, hey, I thought this and I thought that. I like getting people's opinions because I like Dragon Ball, and as much as I hate being a part of any fan community, oh my god, do I. Dragon Ball's the one I actually partake in. It's the one where I actually go to see people's opinions about. And god, some of y'all like just do not care about narrative, and it's really frustrating. You don't care about story, you care about plot, and that fucking sucks. I'm sorry. Like, enjoy what you want to enjoy, but stop bullying other people. Stop getting mad at other people for caring about things that you don't care about.
Yeah. Well, we'll see where this all goes, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from there, for real. Like, I clearly do not feel as strongly as you do on a lot of this, which I'm happy. I feel like that makes my blood pressure a bit better.
Yeah, I mean, look, I wish I were happy right now, but
yeah, there's a lot of reasons not to be.
yeah,
but
hey, maybe if things in the world weren't so bad right now,
adding to it.
yeah, maybe if things were a little bit chiller right now, I'd be able to be over here like, yeah, it's not that big of a deal.
As it stands, the things that you want to sit back and enjoy matter all the more to you. Which is why when they bother you all the more.
Which is why Invincible right now is banging, by the way.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
Oh my god,
whole separate thing.
Oh my god,
separate thing.
Yeah, no, like, look, when Invincible this season is over, I would love to go over it.
I'm willing to talk about the first 3 episodes and then talk about the whole season later. Honestly,
it's just, man, I really appreciate what they're trying to do here right now, and I really hope they pay it off. And this feels like a return to season 1 for me. This feels like a return.
Stay tuned for that conversation, I suppose.
Yeah, no, we got to talk about it. We have to talk.
Welcome back to the Talkcast Pod Show.
God, I missed that. You know what? The only reason we stopped doing the Talkcast Pod Show is that, like, it was really intensive to get everybody in and sit everybody down, record week to week, make, like, and they weren't popping off enough. Y'all want those conversations? You gotta tune in, because I love talking about the stuff I love, okay? You want to get me started on that stuff? You want less negative, Kaiser? Give me a platform where I can talk about the stuff that I like, because I will go on, okay?
So yeah, let us know in the comments below. What are you thinking, Dragon Ball?
Daima.
How you doing?
Do you like monkey? Do you like big wristed monkey with big forearm monkey? Do you like it? Are you into it? Are you enjoying yourselves? Honestly, I love the design. I didn't talk about it enough.
It's so goofy, but I do love it.
Yeah, I actually like. I didn't talk about it enough. I like it. I like it a lot. I kind of miss a sash. I kind of wish we had a sash. Like the fact that it's just the band right now looks a little bit too plain, a little too boring. Wish we had a sash, but otherwise, yeah, I monkey.
Get that monkey drip.
Well, maybe not the drip. Maybe not the drip. Manscape like monkey. If you can do that, by the way, if you can get your hair to look like that,
just shave the forearms.
Yeah,
that's all you do.
That was weird. Why is it? Like, I get it, emphasizing the monkey, but like I feel like that's the biggest defining feature here,
right? It
look
looked like he had gloves.
Huh.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Monkey.